Hello, 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 everybody. How's it going today? Hope everyone's having an awesome day today. I know I am, and we're back with some more D&D. I know this took me a bit to get here, but I had to use the bathroom. So, yeah, we're back here with some more D&D. And I'm just going to go into chat and join my buddies. I'm just going to have to boost that so they can hear me. And
That is the single most disturbing thing I have seen in a long while. Never have I been so offended by something so right.
I could have sworn I turned off the webcam so you couldn't see me walk back into the room naked.
Who did we lose? We lost Dusk.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, what did I just walk into that the stream just heard you laughing your ass off about?
Don't worry about it.
That is fucking funny.
Yep, it's now recorded for ages for anyone who's bored enough to watch these videos.
Actually, no, because I was deafened until I just came back.
Oh, good. Even better.
So, have you all caught up Todak on what happened?
Things and stuff. There you go. You're caught up.
Mostly, as I understand it, it was a lack of murder.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I played politician,
Hey, as long as it worked.
diplomat.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it worked, but we had less conflict, less murder than I suppose was expected or wanted.
I wouldn't say wanted. Definitely less.
You're the
than
GM. You don't count.
I mean, I do count.
Jam it up your stinker hole, buddy. We don't care. There wasn't murder. We're not happy. No.
Oh, look, there's a giant meteor falling from the sky.
That's fine. I mean, Todak would handle it differently, but Rex is fine with the fact that it was handled diplomatically. So rarely does diplomacy actually work.
Especially on goblins.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm not going to argue. No, just talking, really. I don't even... Did I even have to make a diplomacy roll? I don't think I did.
No, I didn't give you one because you were actually willing to talk to them and all that stuff. I figured, you went further than most people would.
Todak would have stuck him with his sharp end.
I was ready to. I mean, didn't have a weapon of that nature, but...
So what's the story going to be for why Todak was gone?
You were carried away by a giant bird and going to be fed to the babies, but then the babies took a liking to you, and a harpy attacked, and you killed the harpy and made a crown out of its feathers.
That took two different turns that I wasn't expecting. Cool. I get a crown of harpy feathers. How am I getting back? I really doubt Mama Bird's going to carry me back.
Mama Bird carried you back.
All I can see now is Todak holding onto the fucking legs of a bird, and there's his party below talking to a group of goblins somewhere. Like, this is my stop, and he just lets go of the bird and falls at terminal velocity.
Yeah, it lets you off back at the entrance of the cave where your party is.
All right. And that is how Todak do.
Yeah, so... we investigated... we went to the second town. I don't know if you were there for that.
Yes.
We decided to investigate the goblin cave that was in the area, the one that we had discovered from the goblin attack.
I do count.
It was in the goblin
I'm
cave.
the storyteller.
Well, I suppose I should back up a little bit and say that the people of the village were, not unlike the last village, very uncooperative.
Good word.
So the children were decent, and so that was at least something. So that we went to the goblins to see whether or not we could figure out anything from that end of the spectrum. We were immediately attacked on the inside and were forced to defend ourselves. But once given the opportunity to talk to their leader, the leader confirmed some things that we suspected. One being that there are, in fact, hags, and it is a coven.
Okay.
And we were granted, what's the word? Free passage through the goblins' lands. We were given a token item to signify that we were given permission to be there. We were also told that not all goblins in the area are to the same tribe, so we may end up having to fight anyway, but it won't be their tribe that we have to worry about.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, we ended with just leaving the cave. We had just left the cave.
And you guys were just about back into town. The token that you were given was a longsword that is not magical. It is a +1 longsword, non-magical, that is jagged and serrated at its blade.
Yeah, it has pointy bits. Jesus.
I like pointy bits.
I'll give you the holy crud. I'll give you the weapon if I can remember where I put it.
If it's a if it's a weapon meant for a medium-sized creature.
Well, it's 5th edition, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It kind of still does.
I mean, he can wield it as a greatsword.
Right, you can wield it as a greatsword. So when you use it two-handed,
Strength and a half.
there's rules for it. There is rules for it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I know longswords have two ways of wielding it. You can wield it as a one-handed weapon or a two-handed weapon, and
that's
the
right. The
damage goes up.
versatility, yeah, 1d8 versus
Right.
1d10.
But I want to say that there are specific rules for. I'm going to need that for short races wielding large weapons.
If a small race, a heavy weapon, they have disadvantage on the attack rolls. So it don't really matter with the longsword, but you're not able to wield a great sword very well.
Yeah. So there's that. All it really is and all I really is a longsword with a +1 to damage, I think it is, and a special benefit if it crits. And I don't think I even wrote any of that down because I don't use that stuff.
You are actually right. Yes, it is a +1 to damage, not to hit, and if you crit, it causes a bleeding effect.
I will.
Even though you probably aren't proficient with that weapon, you're still probably the best at wielding it in the party currently.
It's a martial weapon. I have martial proficiency.
As do I. I just wouldn't use it.
Yeah, but you're. Oh wait, you're not a monk. You're a hunter, right? Yeah, never mind. I keep thinking you're a monk.
Me?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The idea of a kung fu kung fu frog. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Believe you me, kung fu turtle was actually the idea that lost out to Todak.
Ken once played Gurang in one of my games, and he was the monk. I think that's why he gets confused.
That's
But
fair.
if you're a monk, the last thing you want to do is use a weapon that isn't a monk weapon, because if you do, you can't. Your unarmed strikes go back to 1+ strength damage.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it has to be a weapon that is considered a martial weapon.
Well, actually, now that I think of it, there is the Unearthed Arcana thing that lets you change out instead of having the normal martial arts rules. You can apparently pick a number of weapons equal to your wisdom modifier that count as monk weapons.
Right. When I said martial weapons, I meant monk weapons. There are specific types of weapons that were considered monk weapons, like
Quarterstaff.
Quarterstaff, butterfly swords. I believe are considered monk weapons. Tomfas, which are essentially clubs, are considered monk weapons. Let's see, the Kama.
Spade.
I think it's either short swords or scimitars that they also get.
Yeah,
No,
the rules are blanket. So a short sword covers the stats for like a lot of weapons. It's the name of the weapon that matters.
No. There's a lot of ways you can rename your weapons, but basically, short swords and any simple melee weapons that don't have the two-handed or heavy property.
Right. Makes sense. Unless you're a Kensi, right? Is that Kensis have the advantage?
Yeah, exactly. You can choose a couple of weapons that are not monk weapons. They are monk weapons for you.
All right.
But yeah, so if you want to add that to your character sheet, I will delete it from mine.
Sure.
And it was called, what was it called? Open thing. Blood Edge.
Pretty sure it was Bleed Edge.
Efficiency. Nope.
Okay, that yeah. GM says Bleed Edge, so that makes.
I think I had to say that a few times, and you're still just like Blood Edge, and you're just like, I don't care, it's Blood Edge now.
It's not that. It's just that once the brain settles on a particular, I guess you could say, piece of knowledge, it can be hard to shake it.
I have no strength for this, so
Jeff.
If you want,
Corgo, welcome to the stream.
Karen will also give you a scimitar she found.
There's going to be a frog running around with two swords, too big for its body. I'll hold on to Bleed Edge for now. Let's see if we sell the scimitar later.
Well, think of it this way. The one that gave it to us was a hobgoblin, so they're a little bit bigger. But goblins aren't very big, so it's probably just right for you.
Actually, no, it was meant to be more for like a medium-sized longsword.
Oh. Well, whatever.
Talk to a blacksmith. Maybe they can cut it down.
Maybe. We'll see.
Remember, did you ever see the 13th Warrior?
I did, actually. He had to.
See?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now that we draw parallels to it, I can appreciate
Grow
that.
Stronger. That was such a good movie.
When was that? When did that even come out? That was
80s.
1999.
Yep.
Really? That late? Damn.
Yeah, I had to Google it myself because I couldn't remember.
All right, shall we return to the game then?
Yes, let's get going. You guys are pretty much back to town.
Todak has a feather crown.
Yes. And it was mentioned that it was children that had gone missing here, right?
Yes. 6.
So we have adults missing in the other one, just random adults. We have children missing in this one.
Yeah, we were also. It was also sort of suggested that the children that went missing did so after being sort of shunned by the town for a certain amount of time.
According to our friends that gave us the cool swords, the 3 towns did something that includes stealing magic from somewhere 2 years ago.
Did I mention that when I made my throat bleed? Because I don't remember mentioning that when I made my throat bleed. But
I mean,
then again, it was a few weeks ago.
That is what I wrote down. I'm not sure if that's accurate.
What I wrote down was that, from what we learned from the children, was that the adults of this hamlet had gone on a sort of hunt, and when they came back, they started to stop loving some of the children that would eventually get taken away. They also got, I guess, once they got back, things got better for said adults.
Alright, so yeah, you guys do come back, and the adults don't exactly greet you well, but the oldest kid that you had dealt with before actually does come up to you guys like, hey, you're back. I'm really glad to see you guys are okay. Did you find anything? Did you find them?
We found some help in the way of information, but we did not find any clues as to where your friends have gone yet. We still have work to do.
I see. I was really hoping you'd be able to find them.
So am I. But we're limited with resources, unfortunately. If they're not on their feet, it can be a little tricky.
I managed to get a few provisions, some fresher food for you guys, just as a thanks. And the fuck,
Cool, thank you.
things are falling. And he also hands you a little bit of gold coin as well in the bag that he liberated from his parents.
Quote unquote.
So you get 2 days worth of food and 10 gold coins.
Jeez.
Karen will take the food.
I mean, yeah, small place like this, you wouldn't expect them to have money, but
I'm kind of apprehensive about taking the money. The food, on the one hand, is one thing, but food can be explained away. Taking your parents' money could get you into a lot of hot water.
this is not really a whole lot anymore now that whatever the hell happened. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't swear. They won't notice this missing. We kind of took it all, each of us, from our own parents, so a gold or two missing won't matter to them anymore.
I forgot about the Morphe thing.
Right. Well, thank you.
Oh, right, voice changers. Has anything changed in the village since last time we were here? Like, I know that things change regularly, but is there a noticeable difference now that we're looking into this more thoroughly?
For this specific village, because I'm using the same image for the villages, because it's really hard to find small village places that don't have a bunch of weird random crap in it for maps. But in this one here, nothing really has changed. I mean, you guys were only gone for most of the day, and yeah, the people are still going about their business. The adults are still looking at you guys like, what the hell are you doing here? We don't want to deal with you people. Non-humans, get away, go. Stop talking to our kids.
That's going to be fun.
I still think our best bet, if we're going to be dealing with a coven, is to ambush one while it's on a raid run, while it's away from its sisters. If that's even possible.
Yes, good idea.
I mean, additional information won't hurt us. I think we still have a village to look into.
Wrong one.
Yeah. Is there anything left that we need to do here?
Well, as you guys are kind of discussing this, you see the familiar face that talked to you guys before walk up, and he looks at you when he hears the word hag coven. It's like, so it is a hag coven then.
So it would seem.
That is quite troubling. That can be very tricky, especially if we don't know what kind of hags we're dealing with.
You have any what's the word I'm looking for? Insight in hags?
Well, I haven't dealt with much personally. I have read up about them. Well,
I have insight.
Let's just say it's a very good thing we don't have, we're not near any cold regions.
Vicious.
Okay.
Well, I know of some hags that like the colder areas. They are definitely a lot harder to deal with than what you might find around here in swamps or the forests. And you, little frog, I've missed your name. You know a little bit about hags?
I know about as much as he has explained.
Yeah, you know some, but about as much as much. Like, you know about I can't even remember which one they are. I think they're briar hags or something like that. Whichever one the ice hags are.
Okay. What did I do?
The Buer hag is the one I was looking for. Like, he explains the Buer hags are not ones that you would find around here.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I have misplaced my writing utensil. Be right back.
I hate it when I misplace my keyboard.
I was gonna say.
But I also understand writing stuff with pen and paper. So yeah, this time around, I remembered to boost the sound for audio, so hopefully you guys are coming through a lot more clear than before.
Potentially.
and I'm always finding new images to add to the slideshow, so hopefully people are enjoying that.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So, what do we know of the two that are currently the two that have been plaguing these past two villages? One is really large. Is that right?
Yes, I'm not sure if we completely connected the dots, but it seems like the large beast-like creature from the first village might be an Anis hag.
You said,
and the other one was riding a broom. So it's
Yes,
got to
that's
be
what it said.
kind of smaller,
yes,
or likely to be smaller.
son of a bitch, I keep dropping shit that shouldn't be dropping.
Okay.
If you said it's a larger one, then the Anis hag does make sense. However, the only ones I've known to ride brooms are the Brer hags. I have no idea how to actually pronounce that name, so I'm just kind of going with it. It's possible it might have been some sort of trickery, or they might have seen something they wanted to, but if there was one riding a broom, well, they might have gotten their hands on... Well, either we're dealing with something dangerous, or they've got their hands on something a little bit more magical than most hags get.
Okay, so Anis hag and a Brer?
Brer is potentially what you're dealing with.
Let's see. Can I do... Huh. Never mind, I'm good.
By that logic, the third town might be terrorized by another one.
Yeah, I would assume that be the case. And we should probably start making our way there if we're going to try to get information from that. Along the way, we can, if there's nothing left to be done here, we can discuss what it is that we know about the two hags that we suspect we're dealing with already.
Well, considering this hamlet here is closer to the river, I would have expected a green hag, the weakest of them all. It's very troubling if it is truly the ice hag.
We know they've been stealing children, right?
Children in this one, and then adults in the other hamlet.
Is
The
that a
third one is yet unknown.
right? But we could discuss that once we get there. There's no point speculating on what it is until we have a clear idea of what we're dealing with on these two. I don't really know anything about hags, so I'm kind of at a loss. One's big and one flies on a broom. That's about all I know. I don't know them by name.
I could try a nature check to see if that helps.
You can go ahead.
Nope.
Yeah, no, you're
Can I maybe
just
try
as
like
lost.
Arcana? Maybe at advantage because I am technically a hag.
You can roll.
Arcana or nature?
Whichever one's higher.
Personally, in your case, I would have expected history.
That actually might work, but they're all the same.
Yeah. Well, that's. I wasn't thinking about what you had for skills. I was just trying to pick an appropriate skill for the task.
Yep, you have a point.
And just refresh my memory, because I had a bit of a brain fart. What you were trying to glean with your check?
Just general information about hags in general.
Okay, yeah.
Specifically, the two that we suspect that we know of.
Okay. So, from Auntie Karen, what you do know with, being a quote-unquote hag, and with some of the knowledge that you have gained throughout your years of living, you know that the Annis hag, the larger one, they do love tormenting weaker people, kind of typical hag stuff. But what is odd to you is that the one where the children have gone missing was not the Annis hag, as Annis hags are known to be, they have the moniker child corruptors. They love tormenting children, or allowing children to confide in them and be like kind of a granny and convince them to have bad thoughts. So the fact that it was not an Annis hag doing this town does strike you as odd. As for the Briar hag, the ice hag, you do know again that they are much more accustomed to living in wintry lands, snow-covered mountains, and they're usually much more active during the winter to use their ice and weather magic to make lives much more miserable. You also know that they are they're very bold, especially when it comes to combat and stuff like that, and really, even when doing their dealings, they don't really feel the need to hide all that much. But you do know that with an ice hag, their staff does count as if it was a magical item, the Broom of Flying, but only for them.
That's the Briar hag?
Yes, it is.
Well said.
All right. Is there like anything I can think of like in regard to like the green sea hags? Which sea hag is probably what Karen is actually would be classified as.
The green hag or the sea hag is what you want to know about?
I think they're the same thing.
No, a green hag is different than a sea hag.
Oh, really? Then I guess I don't know if anything of note to either of them like pops in my mind.
You know that green hags are known to snatch and devour infants, stealing babies from the cradle or its mother's womb. And that's how they kind of propagate.
Good God.
Huh.
And that sea hags do have a similar way of doing things, but sea hags are far more ugly. Slimy scales, pallid skin, seaweed, things like that. Their eyes are almost like a lifeless doll, so you want to kill them with fire.
Sounds like all of these revolve around children. So Todak's gonna go for a walk.
And her, and you also know that if it's illusion based for a sea hag, it's haggard at best.
Sea hags have illusions?
Yes, sea hags can, they're cursed to be ugly, so they cannot do anything with illusions except for make themselves appear ugly. They cannot appear to be beautiful beings in any way, shape, or form. You also know that green hags are obsessed with tragedy.
Okay. Todak's going for a walk.
Okay, Todak, you are going for a walk, and the man is looking at you, curious.
Pay attention over there. Talk to the other tall things. Todak needs to find a short thing to talk to.
Behind the building, she points where they found the earlier, where they were playing.
Okay. Yes. Back in a minute. Maybe. Todak is going to go off and see the little short things that are around playing.
Dusk is actually going to sort of tail.
Sorry?
No, no, all right. No, she won't. She's still busy learning about hags. But she is trying to keep an ear out just in case they go friggin' ballistic on Talking Poison Frog and she needs to go in and save somebody.
It won't be Todak!
Alright, so what are you going to ask the kids? How are you addressing them, and what are you going to say?
I'm looking to spot a child first, one of a specific size and dimension. Maybe about 2.5 feet tall, very young, pretty small in size.
Yeah, there's a few of them there, a few pretty young ones there.
How do I address small human things?
I was waiting for that.
Little things. The Todak wishes to speak with you.
They look at you. They were kind of like tossing around a ball thing, and they kind of tilt their heads like, "Who are you? Who are you, Mister?"
I am the Todak. Do you not listen? Now, I have a request of one of you. It will pay.
Oh, you gonna give us an allowance? Oh, we love allowances.
I feel my brain slipping down the tube further and further every time you speak, so I shall make this quick.
One of them starts to tear up as you speak so harshly.
I require a set of your clothings. Shirt, pants, and no shoes. Shoes are for sickers.
They're called foot prisons.
Exactly.
Why do you want our clothes?
Because Todak must pretend to be one of you.
Well, I mean, we have clothes that'll probably fit you, here, mister, but you kind of stand out.
Yes, this is step one of a many-step plan.
Well, one of them kind of runs off and brings back some girlish-looking clothes.
Todak has no concern for this. Good.
Probably doesn't understand the difference anyway.
Little thing has brought good clothes. Fancy. Excellent. Have I been brought a dress? Is Todak going to disguise himself in a dress?
Yes.
Done. Todak is appreciative of your help. Here. And I hand the one that brought me a dress a gold piece.
Oh, this is shiny allowance. You're gonna look so pretty, Mr. Todak.
Yes. Appropriate. Now, back to your little foot game, children. Things. Todak must go. I put the clothing in the bag, and then I hop back to my friends.
As they see you start hopping away, they kind of like hop around as well, not mocking you, but kind of enjoying the act.
Yeah, they've just discovered a new game.
I've taught them leapfrog. Oh God!
To be fair, when you said that Todak's gonna do the whole dress thing there. I just had a mental image of a cartoon frog jumping out of the friggin' dress in surprise to attack said bad guys. Just dress is completely gone, jumps straight up through the top of it.
Yep.
Blades in hand.
That's kind of what I was going for. I mean, what hag is going to resist a small little, what could be a child wandering around in the woods, right? I'm sure someone can cast disguise on me.
Well, we're still kind of low level.
You did level up, right?
Yes, I am level 2.
We're level 2.
Honest, I probably could just rub enough mud on my face. It wouldn't be able to tell.
Anyway. You'd have a very bad disadvantage on a disguise check.
I'm just going to tell you, metagame knowledge. Karen does have disguise self.
Ooh. Well, when I come back and you guys are all done talking, I will explain Todak's plan.
Oh wait, never mind. That only works on myself.
'Cause you's a hag.
Well, you need a disguise kit.
The man kind of looks down. It's like, I think you're gonna need some makeup too, but I don't have any of that right now.
Well, the disguise kit it has makeup in it. It's just it's a kit that has what you need for.
Oh, I meant like eyeliner, some blush, all that stuff.
I know it's in it.
I think
disguise
kit fine
kit
if we just find a wig.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of grass you could probably fashion to make a shoddy-looking wig.
And maybe some glasses to stick on your nose.
Todak's plan is becoming very convoluted. But there's got to be hay around. I can easily throw that on, and sure. Point is, we can try and see what comes up.
You can definitely try. Again, nothing has really gone missing in 2 weeks, week and a half.
How often do they go missing? Did we not already ask this?
You didn't actually ask how often they go missing. You just know that the last taken was about 2 weeks ago.
Right. There's been 6 so far. Last was 2 weeks ago. 6 over the course of how many? Over how long?
Over a few weeks. It's all been like rather quick.
So
and you can tell that
took
in
6 within a few weeks, and it's been a few weeks.
Yes.
So they took 6 essentially all in 1 week.
They took 6 probably within about a 2-week span. And you can tell that all the kids that are here playing are all the kids that are left. And none of the parents are looking at them with scorn, that they're all very well loved.
I could tell by the way that they allowed us to talk to them behind the building without.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're playing. They've got like newer clothes. They seem, like they know that like none of them were talking about how this person that's still here was, scorned or treated poorly, anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Question: from the stuff we talked about the kids, would we? Like one of them said that their brother was missing. Was it like their older brother? Can we assume that the kids that were taken were probably like the firstborn or something?
Yes, you can.
Is this significant?
I mean, they're hags, so.
No, I meant is the firstborn thing significant?
Yes, hags tend to have a particular fondness for the firstborns for some reason.
Is that for children and adults? Or just children?
Hags tend to like children. They can use foul magics to turn them into one of their own, or, well, if they're lucky, they get eaten up quickly.
Nom 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 nom
Becoming a
nom.
hag is a terrible curse.
This is getting complicated.
Yep. Would Karen have any knowledge, like the significance of a firstborn?
In this case, no. Because the fact that adults were taken as well, this seems to make less and less sense.
Well, not entirely. It makes sense. It just doesn't make sense on an individual basis. If you had one type and they were acting, if all three were one type and they were acting in ways that did not befit their type, that would be suspicious. But if it's a coven and they've already displayed the fact that there's probably two, maybe three different types, and they're working together, it stands to reason that they would be working on each other's behalf. So if one does not favor children, but another does, one might send the other to get the children for the first, if that makes any sense.
Todak has a thought.
Yes,
Probably
little
not
one.
Probably not a right thought, but what were the family names of all the people taken?
You asshole.
What?
I mean, if they're commoners, they might not actually have a family name.
Somebody knows why I said that.
Yes, I know why you said that. Yeah. Do you have a generator?
I'm a prick.
Yes, that's why I gave the out of they might not have a family name, because
That's
names
fair.
are nightmare. Ugh.
Names are nightmarish, unless they're like one-off names like Todak.
Right.
Well, you never really asked if they had asked their family names.
Todak has.
Well, you have now, but you've never asked them what their family names were.
Okay.
Hell, I don't even think you guys asked their names. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it can be a little difficult to get into the moment.
Yeah, you remember every time I was Heather asked for a name and I kind of started cursing at her.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be rough. So let's ask this question then. Rather than what were their names, how about is specific names relevant?
Well, you can roll a check to see if their names would be relevant towards the hag stuff.
Or just in general, do hags in hag mythology and or whatever you call this, do names matter? Do the names of their victims matter? If you get what I'm saying.
Todak figures that they might be hunting individuals based on name because they are seeking one clan or one family or descendants thereof.
I think we should just try to get as much information as we can. If we just continue guessing based on our current amount of information, we might end up with the wrong conclusions.
Yeah, that's fair. I assume that we were discussing most of this stuff on the road to the next town, actually, so that we're not wasting time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you guys can have been doing that. The guy that you were with would have split off from you a little bit ago now to go to the town you guys came from. That's what he says.
Right. We will keep an eye out for you in the future. What the hell is his name?
Haggith Kag.
Haggith?
That's a
Kag?
little. And you said Todak's on the nose.
Yes, Haggith Kag, man with an owl. And, I mean, it was a randomly generated name, so you can't say it was on the nose. Alright, so yeah, you guys are approaching the next town. I'm going to say right now it's probably getting close to lunchtime. But as you guys get close, as you're discussing, if you guys want to just place your tokens over onto the far right.
Familiar.
In whatever the marching order may be.
Ugh.
Where is my character? Can I drag and drop him in?
She is tiny. What did you do to my token?
I did nothing. Let me fix it, though.
Could you fix mine as well? Thank you.
Just give me a second, because I'm going to have to completely redo your token there. Remove. Yes. Could have sworn I already did this, too.
Also, have we had a long rest at any point? Because I think technically, even though we leveled up, we have to take a long rest before we can actually gain the benefits of said level up.
You guys did have your long rest after there, because it was around nighttime when you guys came back, so you did a camp outside the place.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Oh, that's the wrong person. Move, yes.
Oh, and at some point during the camp last night, Karen will find the 2 arrows she has in her bag and completely forget why she even has these, and then puts them off to Alexandrite's stuff.
Did you actually forget about them? And I now have 20 arrows, so is there something special about that?
You get 2 arrows, and I remember why I took them, and then I realized, no, that's stupid, so I'm giving them away. Karen forgot, though.
Thank you. Now I have 20 arrows. Which I can't use because I'm wearing my shield.
Yeah, as you guys get up here, roll me perception checks. Let's see, 12 would be...
Just an FYI, I'm going to, if you don't mind, give myself... No, I'll give Alexandrite advantage on initiative rolls for the day.
Because I have them.
Okay. Unfortunately, your passive perception, for those who rolled poorly, still actually does beat this, but I just wanted to see what was going to happen. As you guys start walking down this road, you start hearing an odd noise. This...
back for round 2.
It's the sound. It's a distressed sound, and I also want to point out that Todak, you specifically also heard this just before the noise started.
Okay.
As in 2 different creatures, or?
The sound did not come from a creature. The first sound that Todak heard, because nobody else heard that sound.
Okay.
I
thought everyone did hear the first sound, and I heard the second sound.
Now, the first sound is the... The second sound is the sound of what sounds like a distressed bird.
So, like a snare or net trap going off and then something getting stuck in it, perhaps?
Well, Todak will have to describe the sound, and he might be able to tell you. He might not. He might not know what that is.
Well, Todak is bad at explaining his actions. So he's going to go and investigate.
You are walking forward and investigating, are you?
Does he do the fist up hold while you check out the road to see if there's claymores in it and all of that good stuff?
Absolutely.
Saving
Shut
Private Todak. Saving Private Todak.
All right, I will give a what is it called? Crap.
Guidance?
Mind link. I can't give you guidance. I don't have that.
Okay, that's fine. Todak is going to
Mind link.
fuck off. Splurp.
As you get closer, the sound does get louder.
Okay. Whatever it is, I'm probably going to kill it, but it's good to know what it is first.
All right, give me a perception check with advantage now. At first you really don't see anything, but as you get closer to where you are right now, you just happen to look up, and from out behind a tree, you do see, like from some bushes, you do see a very... hang on, let me check its size. Yeah, a very large beak.
Okay. Can I identify... Oh, it's all the way over there? Okay.
Yes, it is all the way over there.
Okay. Todak's going to pull out his longbow and start to go around. See if he can get a better view of it.
Karen's going to jump over this fence, move over there, and go into stealth.
We should maybe be careful. We might be interfering with somebody's hunt.
I am going to don my shield.
Yep, Alex has shield at the ready.
All right, Todak, as you get closer, you hear the screeching starting to stop, and the beak turns to you.
I've already beaten one of your feathered kin today. I don't mind making it 2 for 2.
And the beak kind of starts to poke out as the body of the creature starts to come out, and you are going to...
shoot it?
All right, go ahead and shoot it.
I don't know why I was so apprehensive about that, but... Boof.
You do manage to hit it.
Eight points of damage.
Oops. I did -5, -3. As you shoot it, you hear the bow land into what almost sounds like soft tissue with a squelching sound. And as the body comes out, you see this. How do I make this big again? I don't remember.
What the absolute... Is it a brain?
Shift Z to show it to us.
Yeah, Shift Z.
Shift Z, okay. Has that been
It's disgusting.
I thought it was a bird, but I am very pleased I shot it first and asked questions later.
Roll initiative.
I get advantage. Okay, that was definitely worth it.
I also think I get to do advantage here, because Natural Explorer. Yeah, there it is. Okay, 20.2.
Let's see, let me check something. Todak is first.
Yes, Todak, you have the turn.
Okay, Todak is going to jump backwards towards his friend and try to draw the creature towards him. And fire another shot into it. On my first turn in combat, I have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't moved yet.
All right, you hit.
For another 8.
All right, is there anything else you would like to do?
I have moved, I have shot. I would like to take my action and coat Alexandrite's weapon in poison, if he will let me.
You want to take an action after you've already moved and shot?
I don't know, what is it to coat a weapon? Is it just a bonus action?
Let's, do you have the ability in your sheet?
Poison skin. Oh, it is it is a full action. My mistake. So then, no, I'm good.
All right, then that means it is Alexandrite's turn.
Yep, dashing forward. As bonus action, I would like to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Nice.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. The creature that was there before this thing is now disappeared. It is confused, and it has no idea what it's doing or what's going on until you rush forward, and then it moves to here. It moves quite a distance down. It hovers down in front of you, just the right distance away.
One moment. I just realized I have an ability.
Okay.
It has to make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of my next turn.
Is it a humanoid?
You can choose. It is not a humanoid.
In which case,
Right,
that's
sorry. I missed
or-
that. Never mind.
Oh well.
Yeah, I made that same mistake, remember? I was so excited for it too. Alright, it is first going to attack you, Alexandrite, with a tentacle.
With Shield of Faith, that misses.
Yes, it does. And it is going to hover up another 5 feet out of your range. It doesn't like that it missed, and it is very hurt with 2 arrows sticking out of it. And it is squawking. Karen, it is your turn.
Okay, going to move up.
It is going to be a little bit more than 65 feet from where you were last, because it is an incline.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part?
If you wanted to go up to there, yeah, it's going to be a bit more than 60 feet from where you are now, because that is an incline right about here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to. Okay, but that's fine. I don't need to get there. I just want to grab a rock from up there and then just hurl it at the creature that's hovering in the air.
Okay, roll. You miss. The rock hurls towards it, and it manages to just float up just enough, and it's the rock that you hurled at it floats right through its tentacles.
Yep. Karen is distracted. She's just looking at the creature and she's like, "Oh, what a beauty!" And she ends her turn.
All right, Dusk, it is your turn.
Making a note to myself to buy or make holy water. Because I don't think I have any.
And I would just like to just double check: was anybody interested in the aberration? Or the hell? Yeah, the aberration transformation.
Yeah.
You?
No idea
Shit.
what that is.
It sounds like freaking magical girl shit is about to happen here, and I'm not gonna like it.
Well, no, because remember there was the transformation options that you guys all had access
Yeah,
to.
Not magical girl, Lovecraft.
Sorry, what transformation options?
Like the werewolf, the vampire, lich, all that.
Oh, fuck, I forgot all about those.
I don't know what any of that crap is, unfortunately. So,
You'll have to link the book later.
I mean, the book's
Yeah, I'm
still
gonna-
linked, so.
the book is linked. I'm probably going to forget it anyway. So she is going to move up to there. Uh, hmm. Let's not do that. Let's do Holy Word. She will cast Holy Word on the thing. 18 to hit.
That does hit.
So she mutters under her breath. If words could sound like nightfall or dawn, that is kind of what she's going for. 5 points of radiant damage.
You can tell that this thing is starting to get a little hurt. It's panting a bit.
And she says, "What is that thing?"
If anybody wants to... if anybody wants to do a check.
Insight? Medicine? Nature?
I'm not inclined to make a check on a skill that I don't actually have. So what skill would it be?
Let me just take a look here at the skills. Probably a nature check, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yep. It's actually funny. Todak doesn't either.
Alright, then is that your turn?
Yes, that is my action and my move. And I'm not going to do a bonus action.
Todak, your turn.
Sweet. Put 2 more arrows in the thing. Or, sorry, another arrow, I suppose. I don't have multi-attack yet.
Well, that does hit.
9. Oh shit, I have
Alright.
spells too. Fuck.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, cool. That is my turn.
Alright, Alexandrite.
Yeah. Alex is going, so it's so far in the air that I can't get into melee range, right?
That is correct. Right now, it is
Yeah.
above you, so you cannot
Then
attack it.
I'm going to leave my token here, but I'm basically going to move directly below him. And I'm going to insult him. Get down here, you coward, and fight me like a man. And be slain by Zadriel's champion. And then I would like to dodge, and that's the end of my turn.
Alright, well, the Grell, as it is above you, it does not like that, for some odd reason, it was not able to hit you. It is going away. Wait, what's its movement again? 30, okay. And it realizes as it goes this way, there's a few more people, and it's starting to panic. And it stops as it does not know what to do, as it fears that if it keeps going this way, it is going to encounter more. So it is going to start going this way and fly up a little bit higher. Karen, it is your turn. So right now it's about 15 feet in the air.
Okay.
How big is this thing?
It is a medium creature.
Ugh.
That's a giant brain.
Yep. There's like the fence here, right? Is there any of these fence boards that look loose?
Roll me an investigation. Yes, there is one or two boards that look pretty loose that would be able to just be pried off with very little effort.
Yep, and I do that. I grab one of the loose boards, I move it off, and then it looks like I'm about to like chuck it like a javelin at this floating brain creature. Just like big old crazy smile on my face, like looking at it in marvel.
All right, roll your attack. Oh God!
Yeah, nice. Natural 20. Very good.
Ooh, that's good.
2 in a row, even. That's pretty good.
Damn. Go buy a lottery ticket right this second. I demand it.
I wouldn't rely on the roll 20 algorithm to determine your luck status, because it's kind of biased, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's not using 0 point energy to do its our random number generator, so it's not exactly random. I have scienced you, motherfucker.
I doubt it.
Karen, is that your turn?
Yep, I'm just going to run closer towards it. Standing directly under it for now, but with that, I am my turn.
All right, Dusk. It is. You notice that it is panting heavily as a piece of wood flew at it and seemed to take a chunk out of its skin right underneath its beak that came from Karen. And it's just very odd considering how frail she is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that I would know.
She's relatively strong. She's not like weak and pathetic.
Yeah. But it is your turn.
First things first, she is going to say to its mind, what is your business here?
And
suppose I'll make it. Any creature that you can see, provided the creature's within a number of feet equal to 10 times your level, so it would be 20. It should be within 15.
Well, it's 15 feet up. Hang on, let's math this.
Well, I can move closer if need be.
Okay. Yeah, if it's 20, then right there you should be good. It hears your voice.
It needs to be able to understand at least one language for it to understand me.
It does, and you hear, "Well, don't know."
I didn't understand. All I heard was squawk, squawk. Just speak in English.
I mean, it said Grell don't know. Grell was transported here.
She says that out loud. And she is going to, I guess, the easiest way to put this thing down is without hurting it.
To let Todak finish the job.
Oh, you bastard. I knew you were going to do that anyway, but I'm still going to try. 31 points of hit points for sleep. Centered on it.
Right. Yeah, it Oh God, it's centered on it, so everybody starts falling asleep.
I could see it. Yeah, it's got to be centered on him.
Yeah, you can't select who it doesn't affect, can you?
It's 15 feet up.
Yes. And it's...
Let me read the spell real quick. Maybe this is a bad idea.
I think you can actually aim it like above the creature, so only it is affected. I think it's an area effect sort of thing.
Yeah, just post the spell.
Not the spell. I'm kind of surprised it didn't post the spell in the first place. Why is it? Oh, I know why.
What spell was it?
Sleep. I gotta turn off description. Well, I have description turned off. I need to put it on. Okay. Now, let's try it again. Yeah. Ignore the 21. Spell sends creatures into magical slumber.
20 feet. Point you choose.
Of a point. So yeah, I can do it above its head.
All right,
It
so
is higher than the rest of us, so yeah.
And you have 90 feet range, and the range of the spell itself is within 20 feet, so you can have it just like 5 feet above it, and nothing else will be affected.
I could do 10 foot above it, and it would catch maybe a bird flying by plus it, but you know.
Yeah. But as you do that, it's the sound that's in your head, the sound that's talking, the panic sound, and the panic noises that it's making slowly stop, and it starts to drift down to the ground.
Oh, I want to catch it.
And it lands on top of your head.
If it fell hard, I was going to try to catch it. So I will help Aunt Karen catch it, I guess you could say, and set it on the ground so it doesn't take damage and wake up.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yes. -1 spell. And she says out loud that it was confused and a victim of some sort of magic. We may need information from this. It's asleep for now.
Todak feels like he was targeted by that statement.
I was talking to my alternate ego, and I didn't want to harm it, so I had to convince myself otherwise.
Todak also believes that is hogwash, but accepts the argument.
All right, so that's your turn. Todak, are you going to do anything contrary to what you were just told?
Sorry?
There may be more.
Are you going to attack it, or are you going to let it sleep?
Dusk is probably the closer friend to Todak in this group, so if Dusk says not to shiv the thing with a wooden stick at 50 feet away, then I shall not do this thing.
She does point out that if it was attacked by something, whatever attacked it may be in the area.
Todak is right here.
No, as in it was confused before we even got here.
Oh.
It doesn't know what it's doing here. It's been the victim of some sort of foul play, and whatever caused it may be in the area.
Then wake it. Ask many questions, and Todak will secure the area, just in case.
Alex is going to stand next to the creature, rapier ready, and just in case it does anything that seems hostile. Also,
I was going to say, you don't need to do that again, because it hasn't been 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what was what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I was just checking it. Yeah. Before I wake this thing up, I would like to at least scan the area visually to see if there's anything hiding that we overlooked.
Okay. You can roll. How intensive are you searching? Are you just going to be taking like quick glances?
Unfortunately, I am not skilled enough for a investigation check, so I'm basing it almost entirely on perception.
All right, roll me perception.
Todak flies up, climbs himself up a tree to do the same.
There really does not seem to be anything that you had missed. I will say, if I had thrown 2 Grell at you, I'd be kind of an asshole.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe.
I like to say, as you're doing all this, Karen's just like holding the creature now, just like lovingly stroking it and just like cooing all the time, like specimen, oh specimen, life, oh lucky day, lucky day.
Dusk whispers to Auntie Karen. She says, "Get used to it. I'm not fond of killing things."
At this point, Auntie Karen has like a book out and she's like flipping through it, and you see like a picture of this creature in the book.
Okay. Roll me a medicine check too while you're at it.
Yeah, I want to bind some of its wounds.
Yeah, you do manage to. Well, you notice it does have some odd wounds as well, not just the ones that were inflicted by your party members.
Is there anything notable about them?
They seem surgical.
How surgical? Like, did they do a good job, or was it like a hack job?
It was a good job.
Oh, wonderful. Interesting, interesting.
What's interesting?
Ooh, seems like I'm not the first doctor to look at this. Oh, someone's
sure
been taking care of you.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends.
I don't know. What do you know about these type of creatures, Auntie Karen?
Looks over the book. It's a Grell. Interesting creature. Interesting.
Is it prone to violence, irrational violence? Can this creature be negotiated with?
DM?
I mean, they are intelligent creatures. They don't normally attack groups like they did here. They will try to eat humanoids like they do attack humans normally. They just, again, they don't normally do it in groups alone. But
Are they inherently evil and a plague on normal society, or are they more bestial in nature? How intelligent are they?
They are smarter than your average human.
Smarter than your average human. So any violence that it inflicts on others can be considered malicious.
Yes, and from what I understood, apparently mind flayers are not so hated in these lands, so...
I wouldn't say not so hated, but they, things like mind flayers, stuff like that, you can work out deals with them. Just because, they have a bit of an evil nature to them, doesn't mean that they are above negotiation. I mean, you saw what happened with the goblins.
I mean, oh, absolutely. And Mind Flayer is much happier if their lunch is up and around and walking so they don't have to carry it.
Well, anyways, I explained that these creatures are about as dangerous as a bear, though far more intelligent, though normally these are found in packs. Wonder why you're all alone, little creature.
Todak?
Yeah.
Anything on your scout?
Let's find out.
No, they're with your perception being very low and Dusk's perception being rather high. There isn't really anything out of the ordinary that is around. Like it seems to have been just this one creature.
Okay.
Nothing immediate.
I am going to. I'm going to hold an action to... shit, I can't do that. I'll lose the spell. Fuck. Auntie Karen, if this thing gets hostile when it gets woken up, I would rather it not be attacking you first. So if you don't mind taking a step back.
No. It's you. Sorry, my working. My keyboard's dying, but she says, no, it's you. Please, just step back a little bit. Let me be the one to wake it up. If I can, I want to use my new ability.
I'll take a step back.
I want to make it apathetic towards me.
Different sentences are harmed by a spell or being harmed. Alright, so it's a wisdom saving throw.
Hopefully at disadvantage could sleep, but it's up to you.
What?
Yeah, it fails.
All right, then I ask Alexandrite to step back a bit, and then I try to just gently tap it awake.
Okay, fine. But before you awake it, would you... By the way, Alex is going to pull out his whip, just because there's a better range, and would you mind answering me a question? It looks like this creature is quite ugly. I can't believe that it is a natural occurrence. Do you think it might be a product of these hags that we are after?
Hags, no. This is more like those illithid that live underground and deal with the drow for us.
Not, well, let's say only a little bit better. But not our current target, then.
I'm not inclined to believe that it's better at all, but at the very least, it should. I suppose we should give it a chance to explain itself.
Information can't hurt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it starts waking up, and it looks at Karen. Well, it kind of turns towards Karen, and it notices the rest of you. But you do, for those who know nothing about a Grell, you do notice it has no eyes, and yet it can tell exactly where you are.
Yep. Occasionally, chuckling to myself, I say, "Wakey, wakey" in deep speech.
It just kind of squawks almost inquisitively, like it has no idea what you just said.
Oh, I thought I would understand that since it's the language of illithid.
Nope, it only knows Grell.
Drat.
I can still talk to it, so I'll say, I'll ask it. She'll say, she tells Auntie Karen that she can translate for you if you like.
Oh, that's good. Yes, I'll try to just keep it calm, just gently stroking it while occasionally laughing again to keep up apathy.
Okay. She tells the Grell that Auntie Karen here, and she motions to Auntie Karen, is quite interested in your well-being and hopes to know if you're okay and wants to apologize for our mistreatment of you. Are you okay?
It kind of stares at you for a moment as it can hear you in its head, and you hear, "No, hurt bad."
She says to Auntie Karen, repeats that statement. It says that it is hurt bad, and she says to the Grouses, "We tried to bind some of your wounds. It's the best that we can do under the circumstances. What brings you to this area, if you don't mind us asking?"
My phone has fallen on the floor at least 10 times this session.
Good.
Oh, that's how you got here? Impressive. What's a phone?
Sorry, I was a little distracted. It says it does not know how it got here. it remembers being in some sort of domicile, tubes, blades, a cage, and then all of a sudden it could sense a magical presence as it was warped outside.
She reiterates that to the group. And is there anything any of you would like to ask it?
Todak, if you have any sort of intelligence, you might realize that was what that sound was. That.
Oh, teleportation magics. I do have some intelligence. If it came from a tube and then it came here, it won't know where it came from then, will it?
She restates that into its head. Alexandra, did you have something?
Yes, I have a question to it. What does it eat? It looks like a brain. If it eats humanoid brains, then we should probably destroy it.
She asks it that. She asks, what is it that you hunt? What is it that you eat?
It first says, not come from tube, caged human. Eat meat.
It is any particular type of meat? Is it a specific type of meat?
Meat.
She says to Alexandrite, it is a carnivore by nature, but it does not seem to be particular about what kind of meat it eats.
Upon hearing that, Karen will take a ration out of her bag and try to feed it to the Grell.
Okay, how are you going to feed it to the Grell? How are you holding it?
Putting it like in front of its beak. As I get with the other hand like stroking it and just like occasionally laughing to keep up empathy.
Well, it kind of nips some of the food out of your hand, but doesn't really go for much of it. It is very wary.
And Karen would, but I'm reserved using one of the green herbs we have. But would one of the herbs in my herb bag possibly be like a numbing herb that can possibly like just numb the wounds of this creature?
Give me a herbalism kit check. That's cooking utensils.
Oops.
Deep fried brain.
I do have a herbalism MS, and would I possibly get advantage on that?
I am also a herbalist, and will help you with that. I can give the help.
Well, actually, the herbalism kit check was to see if you actually have any herbs that could do that. And you have no herbs that could numb the pain. You could heal it, but you don't have anything that would numb the pain.
Can I see if my herbalism kit has any?
Yeah. Anybody who has a herbalism kit. You do have something that might be able to help.
Toadek comes down and...
What? Wisdom?
It is a wisdom-based thing, yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay, you guys both have stuff that might be able to help.
Tell the creature that we have some herbs that might be able to help it. As I greedily
sort through
my fingers,
and then hand them over.
Hand over there.
Mm-hmm. Todak does too.
Conveys that information to the creature. We are trying to lets it know that we are trying to help it recover its strength and soothe some of its pain.
It doesn't say anything. It just kind of waits to see what happens.
Yep. By again continuing the cackle, I just grind up the herbs given to me and make like an ointment and just paste it over the injured points of the Grell.
Okay. By the way, how long does your hex last?
Technically, forever, as long as I laugh.
Okay.
We're kind of dicks.
No, I just wanted to make sure because I didn't see a duration on it. So
I don't know. It's a nice combination, though. Auntie Karen being able to soothe people's woes, and me being able to communicate with just about anything. Comes in handy.
It
Anywho,
starts to quote unquote feel better, but its health is not going up.
Right, it's not going to, but not without actual magic. And no offense, but I'm not wasting a spell on it.
I mean, I have the herb.
She tells, yeah, she tells
Karen,
it that what it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
She's
Karen's more than happy to. Sorry. You go ahead. Sorry.
She was going to. I forgot what I was going to say now. She was going to tell it something to the effect that it's going to take time for it to heal completely, but this will at least help some. Go on, Karen.
I was going to say, Karen's more than happy to use one of her green herbs, but me as a player am hesitant.
Hey, roleplay is roleplay.
Yeah.
Do we wish to keep this thing alive?
I would prefer it. I mean, it hasn't given us. It didn't attack us.
It says Todak apprehensively when he gets closer, as he was the one who attacked first.
She tells the growl, she says, understand that you're on a very, very public road. It is not a safe place to be. It is generally assumed that creatures lying in ambush are hostile to those on the road. So if you wish to be left alone and unattacked, you may need to consider moving on to less public areas. Especially stay away from humanoids.
There is no way this creature will survive on its own.
Don't know home. Long away.
Ask what it will do now that it's once we let it free.
Try to find home. Defend
Were you born in captivity?
No.
Where was your home?
Underground.
Ugh. You have any idea as to why you were sent here? Or how you were sent here? Seems very random.
No. Old human experimenting. He has others.
An old human experimenting underground. And you were a test.
No. He's home. Tower high. No ground beneath feet.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
No ground beneath feet. It was like he was high up in like a tower.
How sure is this creature that the one dealing or experimenting on it was a human?
She conveys that.
Taste. Bit a few times. Delicious.
Well, that was probably stupid to say. But she says it nevertheless to Alexandrite.
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
It says that its captor, it knows its captor was a human because it managed to get a bite in now and then, and it found its flesh delicious.
Okay. So the creature is dangerous, but the ones who made it were probably not the hags we are hunting.
Sounds like it. So what do you think?
As it says that too, it also explains that other creatures, tentacles, fleshy mounds, similar but different to me.
More of these things.
I'm going to think up all kinds of things to ask him once the opportunity is gone. Anybody else have anything?
Currently, Karen's cackling maniacally behind the creature, just like holding a dagger above it.
Maybe we keep it in case.
I would say it's dangerous. We should probably destroy it, but for now the hags have priority.
Why don't we see how it behaves without magical influence?
I mean, do you know that it's being influenced by magic, or that Karen is just laughing maniacally?
If I don't, then I retract that statement.
By the way, I assume 10 minutes have passed by now?
By now, yes.
Well, what do the rest of you think? Do you want to try to offer this thing to travel with us?
It is either we ask it to come with us and we keep it from eating other people, or it goes off, potentially eats people, or gets edited as soon as it is out of our sight.
Specimen.
I have no idea why that sounds like she is aroused by the prospect of keeping it, but there.
Again, Karen's more than ready to just like stab this thing.
Yeah.
You are, again, contemplating keeping a creature with you that has admitted to eating flesh and enjoying it.
Yeah,
Human flesh.
Yeah, I know.
Todak eats meat all the time.
Yeah, but we don't eat people. At least as far as we know.
As far as we know.
Human steak sounds good right about now.
This thing has admitted that it eats people. And I don't want to go. I don't want this to go off and attack people, only for me to then later have to heal those that survived. I think it's better if we deal with it now.
Or we could just destroy it.
There.
Yes.
That's what you meant.
I mean, imagine you walk into a friggin' village with this thing, like a friggin' floating brain with a beak. The people would panic. There'd be pitchforks flying.
Kill it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that's the smartest thing to do. And the most humane.
Humane.
Todak, if you will.
Todak. because it is point blank, I assume the creature is probably flat-footed. Let's test out that new sword.
There's no such thing as flat-footed in 5e.
Ah, right. Nah, fuck it. I'll just shoot it point blank in the face.
I mean,
Well,
it
we
is
are-
flanked,
Yeah, I
so
was
you
gonna
get a
say, we are
plus
flanked.
2.
What are the flank rolls we're using? Are we using the +2 or the advantage?
The plus 2.
Okay, well, let's try it.
That does hit.
I'm using it.
Go ahead.
Two-handed.
All right, and with that, my held action goes off as I. It looks like I'm slamming down the dagger, but I'm actually letting it go halfway through when having it just like fly into its head. So I think this is at. I'm going to say this is technically at disadvantage because it is a ranged spell. Drat.
Okay.
So that's a 19, not a crit.
Let me just double check something.
By the way, do you get flanking advantage if you're 1 foot, if you're 1 square away?
No, I think it has to be melee.
Okay. Well, it would still be melee because I'm using whip. That's the question.
Then
maybe.
technically, I think yes.
Yes, I think.
'Cause
Yeah,
it was a
you're right.
polearm, yeah.
Then let me just add flanking.
I was trying to see if there might have been a attack of opportunity for 5e in. Stop doing that. In 5th edition for combat, for casting in combat, but
Nope.
no.
There's not. That's only if you have the Mage Slayer feat.
Yeah. Well, as you guys do actually attack it, Todak, you realize that when you hit it, the sword, its tentacles, as it realizes it's being attacked, it grabs the sword and pulls it to the side, but it still renders quite a bit of flesh. However, with Auntie Karen's attack, the dagger pierces deep, and it's still alive at this point when Auntie Karen hits it, but it is bleeding now profusely, and with your whip,
I am also going to use my second spell slot to smite it.
I was about to say, with
That's 5
the
additional
attack,
damage.
with the attack of your whip, because you're using the dueling style, you didn't even need the dueling style in this one, but with just the attack of the whip itself, because you didn't let me finish. So you did use your smite. The crack of the whip.
Points for style.
The crack of the whip, and with the extra divine energy put into it, the brain crackles and smolders as it drops to the ground, dead.
Karen immediately picks up the corpse and just like cradles it in her arms, and like, yes.
I'm terrified to see what you're going to do with that.
Sometimes.
Yes, I get that a lot.
No offense.
I would just like to state that by the time you put it to sleep, it had 12 hit points left, and Todak's attack dealt 4 damage with the way I'm doing some of my rolls.
Okay.
Yeah. Dusk is a little disappointed by the end result, but yeah, doesn't really say anything.
Yep. Alex is going to let the whip hit the air a couple of times just to get the flash off before he puts it away.
Karen's going to ask if we take some time here, and she's going to lay down her tent as like a tarp and just put the corpse onto the tent and tarp. And just use her serrated bone saw battle axe to just like start dismembering this thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over here for a little while.
Just want to get some parts off this creature, like take the beak, hand it to Todak as a trophy, collect some of the tentacles and whatnot, and then just like dissect it, like looking over the book and whatnot, and then eventually just like store away some of the brain to eat later. Though she doesn't mention that.
All right, give me medicine checks. Give me 3. I'm guessing
Hopefully those advantage because I have the book, and I did accidentally send them to you.
Yeah, the beak is a little worse for wear. It'll suffice as a trophy. The tentacles, you do manage to cut them up somewhat decently. The brain bits, however, are it's gonna taste nasty more than you thought. A little bit of charcoal up in there.
Yep. How much brain matter do I get for food wise?
You get about a pound of it.
Okay, so like 1 day's worth of rations.
Yeah.
I'm unfortunately happy to say Todak would eat that.
Todak, I don't think you want to eat that with what would happen.
Yep, and after she's done dismantling it, she then starts cooking. She moves off to a separate area and starts cooking. She cooks you you notice that she's using the food that she got from the kid. So if anything, can I make a medicine check on this food to make sure it's not poisoned? Because that's a part of the cooking tools. Make sure that food is not poisoned.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so if it is poisoned, I don't know.
Yeah, you do not know if it is poisoned.
Yep, so I cook up that food and then I hand it off to you, and then unbeknownst to you, while you're eating your food, I'm cooking up the brain behind me, and then I eat that up.
Yeah, so the food that was given to you by the kids is definitely not poisoned. As you can tell with your detect poison.
Ritual cast detect poison.
Yeah, and the rest of it, so you guys are all eating. Auntie Karen, as you start cooking up the extra mitts, it is not a pleasant smell.
If I can, I just try to make sure that the others can't smell it. She don't really care. She wants to eat this thing.
Okay, okay, give me 1 second. Nope. Alright, well, give me a constitution check. Yeah, save is what I meant, but yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, you don't hurl it back up immediately.
Yep, Karen's positively glowing.
Okay, Todak is just gonna eat his rations and be good.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, it is around lunch right now, so you guys can continue on to the town.
Then let us continue.
She also, before we all leave, she burns the remaining bits of the creature. Alrighty. Sorry for getting a little crazed.
Excited. Excitable.
Yeah. So you guys do end up just right around the village as the sun starts to crest a little bit. So it's probably around 1 or 2 o'clock right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see it's pretty close. You guys just gonna enter it? Are you gonna be like how you gonna approach this town?
Upon approaching this town, observations. Is there anything anything that strikes as odd when approaching it from the road?
No, there's people moving about that you can see. Nobody seems to be really dragging on.
Watchtowers looking out for us. No alarms being raised. Nothing like that.
No,
Some guy off to the side butchering a horse while another person's trying to get them not to do so.
no, it seems pretty freaking normal. Yeah, freak
Any
of nature, you.
hags going around? Any hags
Nope.
going around or whatever trying to steal people?
No, not that you can see.
Todak doesn't trust it.
Yeah.
Considering that we're dealing with a hag coven, Karen's going to stay to the back of the party.
Alex is up in front. So let's talk to the people in this town.
Let's do it.
Alright, so you guys enter the town. 1 second.
And we all get violently gang murdered.
So yeah, just move you guys to the north of it this time.
Hoppa. Todak needs a bath.
Todak does need
Well,
a
this is
bath.
fun.
Just trying to populate the town, but it's loading a little slowly.
Fuck.
Fine.
Now I gotta refresh because that freaking glitch again. Let's go.
How do you change the bottom left icons to your character?
You just gotta go when you see as, you just gotta select your name.
From the chat box.
See, I'm you.
Yep, it's to the far bottom right.
Okay, I got it. I see it.
It'll also change how certain things show up on text. Like it'll say, the name instead of Dusk AC PP DC.
Right.
So yeah, as you guys
enjoy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so as you guys enter into the town to the north here, you see the town is lively. There's some hustle and bustle. People are, happy and cheerful, going about their business. It seems kind of like a normal town that has, it's been doing kind of well. They're not, down and depressed and moody and pissy. It's just it's like a normal town. Kind of creepily and happy.
Square. A message board kind of place, or anything like that.
It's very similar to the other places you've been to.
So is there also a house that is clearly like the house of the mayor or whoever's in charge of the town?
Yeah, but as you guys enter in, there's a few people notice you and they look at you. It's like, "Oh, travelers, welcome. How do you do? What brings you to this part of the woods?"
Hello, I'm Alexander Hartlight. I am sent on behalf of the Inquisition. We are looking into the recent disappearings.
Yeah. Disappearings. Well, not really sure what you're talking about.
I would like to immediately insight that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Same.
I'd like to help too. Not that Todak knows too much about people, but
He's you know a bit more than Dusk.
Classic. Classic.
You can tell that he seems a little too happy, a little too eager to tell you that everything is great and there's nothing wrong. He's got this big old smile on his face and it's starting to seem a little fake.
There's a little bead of sweat running down the side of his face.
are his
He
eyes
is.
diving in a certain direction?
He is kind of looking
twitch
around, yeah, a
happening.
little bit.
You
Wringing of his hands.
You know that lying to the Inquisition does not bode well for one's health.
So I'm not sure what you're talking about. What do you mean lying? I'm not lying. That everything's fine. And everyone here is happy and we're good.
I see. If that is the case, then I'm sure people as hospitable as yours must be wouldn't have an issue inviting a few strangers in, into their homes to provide us with shelter.
Not at all. You're welcome to come in.
Very well, then I thank you for your gracious offering.
As soon as the guy turns his back, Todak is going to be like, nope. And I'm going to start stealthing about.
Oh yeah, that's not suspicious at all. Go ahead, roll a stealth roll.
Well, he is tiny, and if he's going to do that, I can try and offer some sort of diversion. Step in the line of sight. Kind of like a distractionary kind of move to get people's attentions to focus on me rather than him.
Yeah, basically my thought is that there's a whole group of people. The frog hasn't said anything yet. So,
Well,
if
go ahead and
suddenly
roll.
the small... Yeah.
Persuasion, or just give him an advantage?
Give me a persuasion as well. With his stealth roll and your persuasion, you don't know if anybody noticed him disappearing. You don't know if anybody even noticed him in the first place.
Todak.
Good enough.
Todak vanish.
All right, and as you guys start talking, there's a few people down in the center square there, you know, talking, having a good laugh, drinking something.
So I was kind of looking or curious as to whether or not these villages had a message board, like a job board, or like a market.
Not really. They're too small for something like that. They just have like, you know, there's a couple dozen people here. They all know each other.
Board?
What board? Sorry.
A wanted board, something like a place that they would post edicts, laws, people that might be suspected of crimes, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Where would they post wanted posters?
Well, in a place as small as this, if there was anything like that, they'd probably post them on the walls over on this building here, you know, the town hall itself. Or the mayor's house.
Alright. And I'll just keep an eye out for something like that.
Okay, well, as you get closer, you do happen to notice that there is one non-humanoid here in the town.
Oh, shit. That is a mighty blue bottle that she's carrying.
I'll just ignore the bottle. And you can also ignore the daggers. She's not holding them like that.
Regardless, though, is she dressed as an adventurer or a traveler, or is she dressed in more traditional civilian commerce kind of clothes?
She is dressed more like an adventurer, yes.
He appears to be like a tiefling, right? And considering these lands, there's probably like a stigma regarding tieflings, right?
Yes, but she doesn't seem to be having too many problems here. People are happy and talking to her, and she is talking to them. It seems they might know her.
Okay, Alex would like to approach her. Hello, you seem quite the unusual sight in this town. My name is Alexandra. It's Heartlight. I serve the Inquisition. Would you mind answering me a couple of questions?
She does take like a apprehensive step back the second you mention the Inquisition. She looks at you, it's like, the Inquisition. All right. What do you want to know?
Well, we are tasked with figuring out what. Well, basically, we're here to investigate the recent disappearance, and it appears to me that the answers we've gotten in this town so far were not exactly satisfactory. I thought maybe somebody who appears to be quite unusual could provide unusual answers.
She approaches you guys, kind of like waving off the other two, and looks and says, well, I was here with a friend earlier, and we didn't really get the answers we were looking for. They seem a little creepy here, if you might know what I mean. A little too happy.
Yes, do you think they put on a masquerade, or do you think they're under the effect of some sort of magic stuff? We believe that based on our current evidence, that a hag coven might be responsible for the disappearance.
Hag coven. Well, that would explain a few things, but I think this is all just them pretending to be happy. It seems too unnatural, but well, I don't really sense any sort of magical influence.
Good. So, what brings you to this town? Also, the investigation of the disappearance?
Yes, I was here with my friend, Haggith. He's off on to another town, but I came back here to just investigate.
We have had the
Hey,
pleasure of working with him already.
Yes.
Oh, right, the guy with the owl.
Yeah. She gets kind of closer to you guys that way, like right around here, just so she can, talk a little bit quieter.
Are there windows on the buildings Todak is currently running around?
Yes, there is, but you are a little too low for them.
I can also jump 20 foot.
Which is hilarious to see.
It really is. So just poke his eyes above the windowsill and then take a look in and then keep walking.
Okay, I didn't mean to click anything. I was trying to check out some stuff on a sheet that I have, and sorry, Todak. Never mind. So yeah, you can check that. Yeah, I was trying to check out your sheet for something, and I accidentally clicked on something. So, yeah, go give me investigation checks.
Shit.
That was for Todak specifically.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So what are you trying to glean from inside with your hops specifically? Tell me.
I'm looking for totems, enchantments, weird magic stuff, a hostage situation.
Blood dripping from the ceilings.
Yeah, or people like in cocoons or some shit, pod people situation.
No, you see none of that. It just looks like a regular home in there.
But there's still. What about? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not there. Never mind.
Sorry, you were saying something, Todak?
He still doesn't trust it. Todak is going to move to house number 4.
Okay.
Hop. Same thing.
Roll me another stealth check. You kind of knock over a barrel on your way over, but the people are making a bit of a loud ruckus, talking, laughing, having a good old time, so they don't hear you yet. Give me an investigation.
Jesus, it is just getting consecutively worse.
You don't really notice anything in there. The room is a little too dark. The sun is actually not in a favorable position to look inside here, and there are no candles lit. The other one had windows that were open on the other side so you could see, but this one, no. Windows are all shut except for the one you tried to poke your head into.
Todak still doesn't like. Okay, I'll wait then. That's 2 things on my turn. We can go back to the main group now.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are here talking to her. Haven't even asked her name yet. You insufferable.
Hey, I introduced myself with my name. It is her problem that she's not polite enough to respond in kind.
I'm kidding. So yeah, she looks at you guys like, well, by the way, she reaches out to shake Auntie Karen's hand. My name is Salia. Why do I hear birds?
Because Todak is waging war.
I can't hear it, but I did turn it on.
Yeah, it seriously sounds like you have a bird chirping in your background there. Do you have a bird?
Nope.
Was I the other one hearing that? Was I going crazy?
You might just be going crazy, buddy.
I heard it just...
Oh.
That was me.
Yeah, so she introduced herself as Salisa, and she's going to shake Auntie Karen's hand.
Auntie Karen returns it with her gloved hand.
Hello, clearly
As to Auntie Karen, you said something, then we can go to what Alexandrite said.
Hello, Salazar. I am Sawbones Ekatirin, so you can call me Auntie Karen.
Alexandrite.
I was just joking that she's very brave if she shakes Auntie Karen's hand.
Well, she's now going around as she's going to Dusk now too, because Dusk hasn't introduced herself, and then she's going to shake your hand.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dusk.
And then obviously she goes to shake your hand. She's going clockwise.
Todak is not there to make niceties.
Azure Raxon, welcome to the stream.
Well, you don't want to kill the lady anyway, so it's probably best.
No, we don't
just
know
paralyze
that I
her.
don't want to kill her yet.
So we are here, obviously, for investigation purposes as well. It's pretty clear that they are not being forthright with information. This does seem to be a nervous tension in the air, which suggests, of course, that they're hiding something. But unlike the other towns, at least they're friendly.
That doesn't.
Go ahead.
That won't protect them.
No, but it makes dealing with them a little bit easier. I'm going to look around for children. Not actually going to go track them down so much as I am trying to observe whether or not there is any children in the area.
Are you making that known to your party?
No, I'm just glancing around, trying to decipher if there are missing peoples, who might they be? First would be, is there children in the area? If there's a suspicious absence of children, then we may have an idea of what's going on here.
There are children here.
How about elderly?
There are elderly here.
What about animals? Dogs and cats?
There are those there as well. Give me an investigation.
Considering like the population of the first two towns, hamlets, would this hamlet seem to have a lot more people?
It's about the same as the other ones. You will notice, however, with your 18 investigation, that there seems to be more men than women around here, which it's almost in an unbalanced way.
When it came to like the first hamlet, were there more women than men? I think there was the herbalist that was near the town, and then there was the wife of the hunter that was taken, that people saw who took them at that point.
I mean, they were like balanced. There's definitely like, husbands and wives. It was pretty much like a 1-for-1 now. There seems to be more men than there are women.
Okay.
I assume you share that information?
I'm going to share it, but I'm going to share it with a mind link. So I'm going to tell everybody in their heads that I've picked up on that.
Alex nods, and then he would like to find somebody to question. And he would like to attempt to eradicate heresy. And seeing what we know, he would attempt to look for a woman.
You do notice
Spanish Inquisition.
Huh?
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. There is a woman over by the mayor's house right here that you could definitely talk to. As you guys are over here, however, there is... I'm assuming you are going off to talk to her, so you can go do that. As you leave, a man does approach the three of you, though, and looks at you. It's like, what brings you here, travelers? How about we will do Alexandrites eradicate heresy? So give me an intimidation check.
Let's go! The dice are... Well, your decision.
She seems a little shaken by your questioning and your aggressiveness, but she holds firm that nothing is wrong.
Oh, really? Credit where credit is due. One of my friends noticed that there's a distinct lack of women in this town. It is a bit strange that we'd have this many men. Usually it's the men that disappear first. War, somebody has to defend the town or something, but it is a bit odd that there's so few women here.
Is it odd? This is pretty normal for our little hamlet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really has been this way for hundreds of years now.
Well, this is just for our little hamlet. Please, sir, I'm telling you everything I know.
I don't.
With a mental link, sorry, not to cut in, but with a mental link to Alexandrite, she's going to say, oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
Somebody just said hello to you.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to catch up on ask her if there is if it is a common practice for there to be more men that are born here than women, if that is a factor.
Yeah, that was something that he was going to do anyway. He would ask, so for the last couple of hundreds of years, have there always been more men born here than women?
I don't know. I don't know the history here that well. I don't keep track. This is just how it's been.
So how long have you lived here?
Well, my whole life, but I don't know the history of birth rates.
I love how the Inquisition always asks the good questions that no one can answer, and it makes them look guilty.
Well, that's the point. Okay, furthermore, are there any distinct cultural practices? You know, human sacrifices, or is it just that you women are very jealous and tend to kill each other off?
Wow, that was sexist. It's like,
Excuse me,
no, human sacrifice. That's sacrilege. We don't do that kind of thing over here. That's arcane and demonic. No.
You seem rather agitated for somebody who's sure about their innocence.
I play Warhammer 40k. I know what the Inquisition sounds like. You, sir, get a gold star.
Yes, that is very, very inquisitorial to say.
One does it. It sounds like one does protest a bit too much.
Are you a witch? No. It sounds like you're protesting too much. You must be a witch.
Burn lake.
It's like, no, you like you talk about such horrible things. Of course I'm saying no and getting a little frantic. Like you're threatening me. I don't like it. And she starts to try to run away, and she's in tears.
Oh! Is this drawing the attention of people in the houses?
If there are people in the houses, they do start to hear some shouting, and yes.
Can I attempt to stop her?
You can try.
I
said that you are under arrest.
I would like to grapple her with a 6. Unfortunately, dex based. So.
She breaks free, and some people start to get closer to you. It's like, hey, what are you doing to her?
Just my duty as an inquisitorial agent. By the way, as I'm trying to calm down these people, I would like to sort of keep my eyes on her and see where she's going, like which house she's going to.
She's not going to a house. She's going over here, and she's crying.
Okay.
It's like, you may be part of the Inquisition, but the Inquisition does not have the same authority here as it does in other countries.
Oh, they're trying to tell you don't have power here. That is a no-no.
Well,
I mean, it's also not untrue. They don't have the same authority here in the Baron's lands, or the Earl's lands.
Well, we have been ordered to find out what it's about these recent disappearances, and it is my duty to fulfill that job.
They look a little nervous now, but they still, it's like, well, you don't have to be so rough with a woman.
Okay, question. Before, like, the person talked to us and then we heard the yelling and whatnot. we see a bunch of people, right, and we see the children around, right?
Yeah, and you see more people gathering, but the guy who spoke up to you is still right there behind you.
All right, then. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. When we talked to the wife of the hunter and that the brother of one of the people that got taken, did we get any like physical descriptions of them? And if so, can we possibly can Karen make like a perception roll to see if she can recognize one of the descriptions she was given with one of these people here? These people seem odd.
The hell kind of music do you have going in the background, and why does it need to be turned off right now? It sounded country.
All right. Sorry. That was an alarm to wake me up. I thought I'd turn them all off once I already woke up, but
fair enough. I was very confused. It's like, oh god, yes, he's being invaded.
Yes, it's meant to be very trippy to wake me up. It's a soundtrack from a game, Lisa. The song is called 666 Kill Chop Deluxe.
But you can definitely take a look around, but you don't recognize any of the people here as to be the ones that were taken.
Okay.
It's not ominous at all. So the individual that showed up behind us, Auntie Karen and I, what was it that he asked?
He asked if you guys were adventurers and what you're doing here.
We are travelers, at the very least.
But I will just note that I almost forgot about this. We'll move over to Todak for his turn for investigating houses.
Whoa. Yes, Todak is being a nosy shit.
All right, so give me an investigation check. You can do this one, then you can move over to another house. There is a little bit more light coming in this one. There's nobody in there, but again, you don't see any totems, anything that stands out. There's nothing weird. Maybe a few bit more like herbs and garlic hanging in this one.
But there's no one in it.
There is no one in it. It seems everybody is out.
Does the window open?
Well, it is open, yes.
Like, can I go in if I so hopped in?
Yes.
Okay, I will do this.
Okay.
And I'll basically just take a better look inside just to see if there's anything like hiding under tables or under beds, that kind of thing.
No, there is nothing in there that you can see. I'll give that with your investigation check. You're just doing a full investigation in there. There is nothing out of the ordinary.
Todak still dislikes. Todak will hop out the window again and head over to 6, taking another stealth check.
Yes, another stealth check. Okay, no, you managed to hop around. You almost knock over a barrel, but in mid-hop, you also grab it and stabilize it, balance for a moment, and then hop off. Ninja.
I am Ninja Frog. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ain't got shit on me.
Of course not, because they're noisy as fuck. How they have not made the papers is beyond me.
Another investigation?
Yep.
Ah.
You try to find a window that has shutters that are not locked, and they are all locked.
Unfortunate.
Alright, so let us move on to the man who is now talking to you. He's younger. Looks like he's in his late teens, early 20s.
She says that, nice to meet you. I am Dusk, a priest of Nicholas. We have come, well, we're here primarily to aid our friend over there, Alexander. He is investigating some disappearances. He's a member of the Inquisition, you see, and he is the first. I guess what's the word I'm looking for, Karen? The first of many. Like the.
Well, I mean, technically, Salia here and Haggith were the first.
Yes, but we were, I believe, the first sent by the Earl to look into this matter.
Yes. If you guys could just be a little bit more, if you'll actually come with me a little bit, your friend is giving just the perfect distraction. Let's just go over here for a minute. Look, the people here are they're pretending. It's fake.
Oh, we can tell.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. And not a very good performance either.
I don't know if it wasn't so creepy.
So what are they pretending? Why are they pretending? What are they hiding?
A lot of the younger women, and they've been taken. My fiance was actually taken 2 weeks ago. And I saw who it was.
Oh, really now? What took them? What took her?
It was a handsome man. I couldn't get the best look at him, but it was a handsome man. He used some sort of spell or something to enchant her away, and they were dancing into the forest.
Anything of note of this handsome man?
He had white hair, but it wasn't Haggith. I've talked to him. He had much longer hair than Haggith did. And there was no owl, there was no familiar. He didn't carry a sword with him. He had a book.
A merchant?
Well, no, he was definitely a spellcaster of the arcane of some sort. I mean, how else would he have been able to enchant my fiancée?
Strictly speaking, there are lots of creatures and abilities that could cause that sort of effect. But if you believe them to be an arcane spellcaster, a wizard, that could explain some things. How many women have gone missing in this village?
3.
How often do they go missing?
Well, they went missing over the course of 2 weeks.
Yes, I was going to just ask. Yeah. That's troubling, but yes.
Does this village have a history of this sort of thing happening? Or is this unusual?
No, this is unusual. I mean, the town, the hamlet started acting unnaturally happy about 5 years ago. The timeline's starting to fall into place.
And why are they being so
Because
reluctant
if they
to
can
divulge this sort of information?
if they can pretend like nothing's happening and just keep up appearances, then they'll believe everything will just be as it should, and there would be no missing people, and everyone would be happy, and the wealth that they received would be, hard earned.
What wealth?
Well, they came into quite a bit of money. I mean, these places were shambles until 5 years ago.
how did they come in contact with this money, and from whom?
I don't know. If I had known, then I might be able to give you some more information than just saying it happened suddenly, but unfortunately, this is all I really know.
You said the handsome man took your fiance off into the forest. Can you possibly show us exactly where into the forest and which point Karen takes out our map?
Let me move you over to the map. Now that I know something, I don't need to drag everybody away.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, I know how to drag specific people to specific maps now. He points like it was in this direction. You can't see that because oh yeah, it showed others in this direction, and he does know that there is a hut over there somewhere around the area that he pointed to on the map.
My hut by the river. Yes, this could be useful indeed.
But you should get your friend and go. I mean, the townspeople, they don't like it when things don't go their way and things aren't happy, and you made somebody cry. Or
Well,
he made
here's
somebody
the thing.
cry.
Here's the thing. If we leave without getting answers, our little group will be replaced by a much larger and much more forceful group. Do you really think that an entire squadron of Inquisition and potentially armed escort is a good idea to walk into this village?
No, but no one's gonna give you information here. But you might find something out in that hut. I heard that the person who owned it was a wizard 100 years ago. If the one who took the people is a wizard as well, he might have been using it.
Yeah, we will check it out. But I strongly suggest if you have any influence over your your friends and neighbors, to emphasize the idea that if we do not get cooperation, the next group of people that shows up, should we fail or fail to respond or to have get results, will be much less kind than we will. And it could, I've heard of them literally locking up an entire village like this, locking all of them up to get their answers.
I'll do
And
what
I
I
don't know what
can.
extent of, I don't know to what extent the Inquisition will go to find their answers, but I don't think that you really wanted to get that back. So we'll go check it out. But pass the word. Any cooperation that we can get will help them in the long run. Okay?
I will. Thank you. But just I hope they'll listen.
Well, if they don't, that's it's on them. Their suffering is their own doing. Is there anything else that you would like to ask? Anybody else?
No. I think I told you all I know though, and there isn't really much else I can tell you.
If I can, I want to make an insight check to make sure he's telling us the truth.
Go ahead. You have no idea. You don't know one way or the other. You just know he is nervous and shaky, and yeah. Alexandrite, you are surrounded.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm currently trying to de-escalate.
How are you de-escalating?
Wouldn't say.
Prowess.
Yes, of course. Full self-hate. No, Alex would say, I'm doing my duty to find the truth. I have no interest in harming the innocent, but sometimes tough questions must be asked. And I would slowly try it. I don't know. Am I really surrounded?
Well, I mean, you can definitely try to, go towards where your party was. They'll move aside for you because they both are, like, hey, stop. But at the same time, it's like, 5 feet, 10 feet. Yeah, respectful distance.
Yeah, then I would like to use their insistence on social distancing to sort of slowly at least break free from them and walk towards my party.
You hear someone in the distance shout, "Wear a mask!"
And
I don't care if you're eating freaking burritos.
And yeah, Alex would also say,
a hot dog is not a sandwich.
If you're innocent, do not worry about me. I'm just here to find the guilty. And I would like to sort of slowly make my way back to the party. Non-threatening, but I'm taking a look over my shoulder to make sure that there's nobody running up behind me with a knife in hand.
No, nobody is that eager to die.
Okay, then meeting back up with the party, I will tell them, well, they are certainly guilty of something. While I don't know the details yet, the woman I was interrogating showed clear signs of guilt.
Is someone going to point out that the Inquisition is not a should not technically be a measure of guilt?
There is no such thing as innocence, only varying degrees of guilt.
Yeah, Dusk is going to say to Alexandrite in his head, I may have overstepped my position. I told them that if they didn't help, that there was a larger force of Inquisition that were going to take over if we did not get results, and that their cooperation. Well, I told him, and he strongly suggested that he spread the word through the community that if they don't cooperate with us, that the Inquisition might show up in force and lock them all up. If that's bad, then I apologize.
Can I respond via mental link to you?
Yes, you can.
Oh, then you would get us an answer. No.
Auntie Karen wears a mask.
That was a very good idea. Let's make sure that they, let's say, are well incentivized to cooperate with us.
Also in mental, she says, it may take some time for the message to get around. Out loud, she says, so we have a potential lead with a shack and a wizard. And she points in the direction that the informant had given us.
Okay. Well, if you share all of the information, then Alex would say, are we sure that that's a wizard and not just a hag in disguise?
We don't know anything aside from what we were told. So I suppose investigation is necessary.
All right. Now the next bit might go on for a little bit longer, so do you guys want to end it here, or do you feel comfortable letting it run for probably another 10 minutes over the normal time?
I can go on, but
I can go an extra 10 if there's nobody else that needs time.
It's a
That sounds
potential
great.
10.
A little
It could be a little
sleepy,
bit
but-
longer. It really depends on how things go.
Okay. Well, if there isn't anybody else that needs to break away, then I can stay up until.
Todak?
Well, I'll go with group consensus. It sounds like we're all okay to go for a wee bit longer, but no one should feel upset or worried about saying this is where I have to call it.
Well, I don't have any obligations aside from passing out, beating up my pillow.
Oh, wait. No, yeah, my only thing is I have to go help with an eviction. That's going to be interesting. So, yeah, I got time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I didn't know what time exactly you had to leave, so that's why I kind of put that forth.
Let's do it. Todak's going to fuck about with somebody else's day or take a bath in the pond right there. I'm not sure which yet.
I mean, you got time now to kind of hop in the pond and splash about.
There you go. I'm just going to sit there and kind of quasi-bathe.
I'll say you've done that while, you couldn't get any information out of that one, and, they were doing their talk, so you bathed for a little bit.
Well, they'll be fine. It doesn't actually kill them, I think.
It doesn't actually poison the water either.
No, I think I have to
I don't
willingly
think.
apply it. I don't know. I think that'd be a DM thing at this point. Todak doesn't drink the water that he bathes in. It's more of a habit than an actual reason.
You're gonna come back here to some very pissed off people wondering why people are getting paralyzed drinking the water.
I kind of
It
think Todak
has
would
to
give him
be
explosive diarrhea.
Sorry, what was that, Dusk?
Before, just to be safe, before when he climbs out, give me 10 minutes.
Okay.
Purify food and drink.
I prefer my bard's version of that.
All right, do your thing, DM. Eventually, everyone collects Todak.
All right, so you guys collect Todak, and you guys start going towards where you were told to go. Which let me just. It is, it was evening or it was afternoon when you left, and by the time you guys get there, it's not that far away. God damn it, it's not friggin' 40 kilometers. You start heading in the direction, and give me survival checks.
That will be up to me, I think.
I would give you advantage. I have a +6.
Difficult terrain doesn't slow us. Cannot be lost except by magical means.
Yeah, I just want to see if you can find
Have
your
we?
way.
Do we get like a long rest between these two places, or is it like within a day's walk?
It's it's still light out by the time you guys get to where you're going. Just again, give me that check there, buddy.
Sure.
You do find the path to where you're going. Okay, good. You would have eventually found it. It would have just taken longer if you had rolled lower. There's still light out. You can see it coming through the trees by the time you get there, but it is getting darker as you approach this run-down and shitty-looking hut. Yes, I know it is dark.
Todak cannot see after the sun goes down.
Night is dark and full of terrors.
And one frog.
Is there difficulty in light?
I believe I made it so you guys should be able to see. Let me just double check the dynamic lighting settings.
Yes, I can see.
My token is gigantic and I can see it, but not. Okay, now I can see everything.
Yeah, I forgot to put on. I already put your token on. I forgot to put on daylight mode. Do you have sight on your token? You should. No, I did not save your token with that. You don't have any night vision, do you?
Nope.
No low light?
Nope.
Is it dark here?
Not yet.
Yeah. So this is the hut. Do we know anything about who lives here?
I mean, it looks pretty run down by now. It looks like it's basically been abandoned.
Okay, well, Alex would like to walk up to the door and attempt to open it.
It's a little tough to open, but you do manage to push it open with minimal effort.
Okay, I would like to step inside.
As he steps inside, can I make like a perception check to see if there's like any movement around this area?
Yeah, Todak is also watching outside.
Go ahead. Nope, there's no movement. It's getting quiet as the sun slowly starts to set. Alexandrite, once you go inside, you do notice that there is a fireplace that it doesn't look like it's been used recently, but you know you went inside the building. But you do know there's a fireplace there. There is tables like the tables that you see. They don't have stuff for food, however, they do have what might be alchemical stuff on there, surgical tools, some cages.
Alright, this looks definitely like a hex home. What is that? Is that a window?
That is a boarded up window.
Okay. So the cages are currently empty?
Yes, there's 2 cages and both of them are currently empty.
How big are they? Like a bird, a cat, more like a horse, or what size are they?
You might be able to stuff a medium creature into there. It'd be very uncomfortable, but you could do it.
Okay, so does anything in here look like it's been used recently?
Not recently, but you can tell like there's stuff that's been burned, like notebooks thrown about, torn up, some stuff that's been like trying to throw into...
recently.
Sorry, what?
It looks like it's been tossed recently.
Probably within the past few weeks, yeah.
What does the notebook say? Like, what's in it? Is this some sort of wizard's diary? Or...
let me just look here. Give me... actually, let me check your sheet specifically. Give me an Arcana check.
Critical failure!
You cannot read this. This is research of some kind that is beyond your knowledge.
Okay, he would put the book down, take a step out to the others, and tell them, well, it's some sort of arcane nonsense. Probably a hag, I don't know much about it. Todak, can you look around and see if you, or did you already do it, can find any tracks of people moving towards or away from this hut?
Sure. I will roll a survival or a perception. Which do you think?
Give me survival.
Survival.
As you do that, Karen holds her hand out and asks Alexandrite for the book.
Sure, he hands it to you.
Can I possibly read it?
Give me an Arcana check. You,
As I am. Sorry, go ahead.
You start flipping through, and it is a little confusing. However, there are a few things that stand out to you in the notes that you do manage to translate. As you have probably been reading certain wizarding books, just for knowledge on medical stuff. That the translation, it's kind of its own thing. It's common, but it's not common. You happen to notice that there's a few things when you translate from the encryption that they have. This is the word I was trying to say. It's very basic encryption. You're actually surprised Alexandrite could not figure it out. But you see the words lich, demon, and god.
Yeah, I just I'm like looking through this. I say this out loud, just like not good.
And as you start flipping through, you also happen to notice that some of this might be a research on summoning something, and another word that sticks out happens to be sacrifice.
Not good. At which point, Karen walks into the house and looks around the places if she can like see anything that's regarded in this book.
Give me an investigation, and those that are outside, give me a perception check.
Yeah, I was going to say, while they're doing that, as Dusk is an outlander and an aspiring tracker, was going to also try to spot and figure out some tracks, using Todak as her sort of mentor to teach her the proper techniques and shit like that.
And I just saw Todak's check, so yeah, with Todak's check, you don't really see anything. But again, I want you guys to both give me perception checks as well. You do notice that there were some tracks that seem a little fresh, but nothing there. As you guys are checking through this, time is passing. You look up at the sky as light fades, but it still seems really bright out for nighttime. And you see above you the moon. Full and beautiful in all its glory.
She just groans and she says, Todak, you know what happens when there's a full moon?
You hear in the distance.
Creatures of the were come out to play. Their pelts are worth much, but then you have to deal with an angry family when they find out you accidentally skinned their papa. Wait, what are we talking about?
They're also extremely contagious.
Yes, yes.
Was anybody interested in werewolves or the lycanthrope transformation?
Not right now. Not werewolf, anyway.
I mean, I think it'd be very strange for a small frog to turn into a large werewolf.
Well, you'd turn into a small werewolf.
We should get inside.
Yes.
Because, yes, I actually was not kidding when I say you hear the howls.
Todak is going to sit at one of the windows.
I assume you
shut and lock that door.
Okay. I assume you tell us about, you tell us inside that there's some. Okay.
Yep.
Shield and rapier as already.
This seems like wolves. Why are you so worried?
Moon is full. We're in a shack in the middle of the woods. There's hags involved.
Oh.
Better safe than sorry.
At which point, I possibly see any like silver objects in this room.
Give me an investigation.
I did the one before, but I'll roll another one. Yay.
Ken, you did pin the book, right? Where did you pin it?
Which book?
The Discord, not the Discord, the Google Docs link for the Grim Hollow.
I think I pinned it. and it should
Somebody
be.
did. I mean, I can get another one, no problem.
Is it in your? Not a Grim Adventure. Dark Sun, maybe.
Might have been in Dark Sun.
It's not.
I just linked it again.
Okay, good. So you're looking for silver. You don't actually see anything that might be silver. You see silverish things, but you know, some blades. You're not sure. So you guys are facing the door?
Todak is looking out windows. Hell, if Todak is able to, he might actually try to get out through the chimney and just look around there. But no, window first.
What do you see outside the window, Todak?
Let's find out.
I don't know. Take a look at the map.
Can't. There's a wall in the way.
Yeah. Todak sees a furry thing. Todak is not pleased by the furry thing. Todak is going to shoot the furry thing.
All right, go ahead and shoot the furry thing.
First things first, actually, before all things go to absolute shit, I'd like to cast one of the first spells I have. It is a bonus action called the Hunter's Bark.
Okay, go ahead.
By the way, just as a question, did we have a long rest between the last fight and this one?
No.
Oh, no spell slots for me then.
Nope. Alright, and then I'm going to shoot at it. I get... This is just a damage increasing spell.
Yep.
But since it is the first round, I also get 28 to
It's
21.
also magic.
Yep.
You do hit it.
Okay. Damage is 6 plus another d6. So 10 points of damage.
Sure. Let's go with that. It runs up as the arrow pierces it, and it's not happy that it felt some damage, and is trying to claw at the boards. And at the same time, another one is banging at the door, clawing at it. It manages to actually get a hand in through part of the window that's there. The reason why I have not gotten you guys to roll initiative is because...
Because we're gonna have to do this next time.
Yeah. This is going to be a next week adventure kind of deal.
Also, there's 2 at the window, 1 at the door. I don't think you guys can handle 3 werewolves.
We can't handle 1.
That's the point.
Yes, this is a problem. I also want to, before we go, I played in a West March style game a couple weeks ago. 6 hours fighting 1 were creature. But we didn't know it was a were creature, so we just kept hitting it over and over again for 6 hours, doing nothing.
Yeah, the only thing that really did damage was that Hunter's Mark bow.
It's magical, that's why.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be rough. I should have poisoned my arrows.
So, no, it doesn't say it's magic weapon, magic damage. So I have a spell that gives +1 to all ranged attacks for 3 people.
That would be magical damage.
Would it, though? It doesn't say that it's magical damage. It's
If it comes from a spell, it's always magic.
Yeah.
I'd say you're being very kind, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I will sign off the stream here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I'll be back Monday, because tomorrow I will be doing some more D&D stuff that's going to go really late into stuff. And D&D will be back for us in 2 weeks from now. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope to catch everybody Monday, as long as Discord, or as long as Twitch does not fuck me over. Because today I'm having a perfect stream. Using Discord, using Roll20, not a freaking single Dropout. Fuck you, Twitch. You're being an asshole. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Later.
All right.